Leafs talk. JD Bunkis, Sam McKee. Leafs dominate the Flyers. Shockingly sweep the season series against that team that, is bad. It's quite. I texted you. I don't think you answered. Would you rather have Ersson or Ayers?
Ersson seems like a better guy.
Yeah. Man, that was me in net.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I would look like.
Listen, that is a hurting unit of a hockey team.
Oh,
I don't know how long they've been on the road, but they're a mass unit. Like, it is just not pretty. They are not happy to be out there. They're just Torts calls a timeout and just sits there in silence.
Immediately after, too, they gave up like a grade A scoring chance, like the very next shift.
He's benching Cam York for the whole game. Sick. Good job. What a great job you sent. What a great message.
Can I do quick Flyers talk here? Just quick.
What else are we going to talk about?
Well, I just got to say, what year is this of Torts there?
I don't know. That feels like probably 5, maybe.
I was going to say 6? Year 4. I want to say, 4 or 5. Like,
Google it quickly here as you're talking. Go ahead.
Speak. It's like, what's the point here? Like, Tortorella, you've been hard on these guys. You've been hard on Couturier. It's pick your poison on who you're mad at. He was Mr. Tough Guy with the media today, where they asked him a question about the Leafs. He's like, I don't watch your team. It's like, okay, well,
this is the 3rd year.
Yeah, okay, 3rd. Yeah, I was gonna say 5 felt high. Okay, year 3 though, and it's like, what is the progress that you're seeing with this guy? What is the point of doing the John Tortorella thing? And you know that I have a point of aggravation, which is that he's a jerk to the media nonstop. And then the second he gets fired, he's going to end up on a panel somewhere and just walk into a high paid gig, high profile gig, which is so annoying.
Yeah.
But like that Flyers team, if you're supposed to be the hard ass and they're the least disciplined group in the NHL, what does that say about you?
Yeah. The thing is, the front office has had a plan to like really rebuild this thing. And like we had Daniel Briere on our show, I don't know when, like December, and they were totally in a playoff spot, and like they were having a good start to the year, like they were playing well.
Yeah.
And we're like, like, are you changing? And he's like, no, we're gonna sell. Like, just the full stop, was gonna sell, like had no designs on being any good. And I think they have 7 picks in the first 2 rounds this year. So like they are really trying to strip it down and build it back up here. But yeah, I think he's just sort of the face, and they're trying to teach these young guys discipline and the Michkov thing. And
yeah, it's working.
It's working. I don't know. They suck. Yeah. Like, I mean, to quote him, we suck. Like he's got that famous quote. They're just a terrible team. He's got no really good players in that team outside of Sanheim and Konechny and Michkov, I guess, who I barely noticed tonight. He had a couple moments, I guess, but like
I felt bad for Sanheim watching him try to just skate around. God,
he's a brilliant skater, man. He is, like, you see why the Team Canada front office was enamored with that guy, like the size and the smoothness. He is a beautiful skater. But God, it's going to be a long time until they're decent. Like, I don't see it being like a next year thing unless they trade some of those first. They overpay for Marner or do something at the draft. I don't know what they'll do, but not pretty. So Leafs talk now.
Yeah, Leafs talk. I'm ready for Leafs talk.
Oh, you wore your orange for the Flyers tonight. I didn't realize that.
The team, I've said this many times, but like as someone who's been to quite a few of these events, I hate Flyers fans as much as anybody. Like Flyers fans, it's always some big bald guy with tattoos and a black Flyers jersey in the stands, way too liquored up, talking trash. I hate them. I love seeing their downfall. Like I truly do. I have absolutely no love for the Flyers. Anyway,
we've probably talked about this enough on Leafs talks with when they've played the Flyers in years past, but in our youth, this was the #1 hated team.
Yeah, for sure.
Hated the Flyers. Yeah, Flyers and Sens. Like I hated the Flyers.
Yeah, despise the Flyers. Yeah. Have given me some really bad memories.
Really bad.
So Leafs talk. I'm sure the chat is thrilled. I'm sure we've gotten some very sweet messages from the listeners for the Flyers portion of this show. There's one story to this game, and it's that the second line has really found something, man.
Yep. It's nice to see, really working off of each other. Tavares continues his red hot play as of late with another 2 tonight. McMahon flying around. really brilliant tonight. I understand. I understand the competition, but that's what you would think an elite NHLer would look like in an AHL game. Yep. And that's what it kind of looked like tonight, where he's just had the puck so much entering the zone. That play he makes to McMahon, who scored his 20th, where he flies around behind the net, backhand sauce on the tape. It's just a thing of absolute beauty here. You have to watch on YouTube. You'll see it. Like he is a really, really, up and down at times, but when he's on like he is tonight, there's not many guys better in the league. Scores his 40th. I got to tell you, this line, if they could ever get another couple lines in the team going here, this would really be a good mix. But yeah, tonight they looked really, really good against some poor competition, but they've looked good against good competition too. So you got to take it and, with a grain of salt at times, but I thought tonight they were good.
No, I think it's real, man, what you're seeing with these guys. And it's like, there's the thing that I really love about them is that not only are they dangerous in transition, right? Because that's clear. We've talked about McMahon's speed many, many times. We've talked about Nylander's ability to transport the puck, and like Tavares' little dipsy doodle tonight, It's right by the blue line. He was feeling himself.
The spinorama, that was Johnny Oshawa. That was a nasty little spinorama.
He was. You're right. It was a throwback to the OHL days. They are a different line than this team has in terms of their ability to cycle the puck as well. Because Nylander and Tavares are so good with the puck. It's so hard to get the puck off of these guys. Like they can just do exactly what you saw tonight, which is Nylander carrying the puck around the zone, flying around the net, keeping his head up, looking for teammates. And then Tavares and McMahon both have a nose for the net. Tavares knows where to go. McMahon knows where to go. Yeah. And it's just a nice formula. It's like they have not been scoring in transition since the break. They've been brutal 5-on-5. But it's just so nice to be able to see them like be able to score in a different way. And that's what this line can do.
Absolutely. And I think it's another night where you have to be pretty appreciative of the season that John Tavares has had for the Leafs.
Yep.
Like when we all looked at the 7th year of this contract, we thought he might be like in a wheelchair by this time.
Well, funny how much winger talk was there? Like, well, they're going to kick him out to the wing. It's like,
there's something to be said for a contract year. And look at what just happened with Jacob Chychrun, who had a great contract. He was having a great contract year and got a contract out of it. So it happens in sports. But to be here in the year 2025, after he signed this contract, I don't think any of us pictured this is what it would look like. And he's on pace for over 35 goals. Like, he's been at times. Think about back when Matthews was out, that stretch where he was away for, I don't know how long. He came back a little bit and then he was out again. Tavares was brilliant over that stretch and was this team's #1 center and held up against a lot of good teams. I got to tell you, I've been really impressed with this season he's had. And naturally you start thinking about the future and what you're going to do with him and how much money you're going to pay him. But, that's all a conversation for the summer. But God, you really have to appreciate how good he's been for the Leafs and just consistent, and a really, really good night for him tonight.
No,
good for him to get some cookies.
Totally agree. And listen, I actually have always been in the camp that he's going to age well just because it's not like he was a burner, right?
He never was a burner.
Yeah, exactly.
Even junior.
Yeah. So he's just kind of always been, we talked about this last show where it was like model of consistency. And this is kind of just like a little repetitive, but I never really thought Tavares was just going to have like a cratering effect by this time of his career. But I also, if you would have told me, hey, he's going to finish the year with 35 goals when he's in his age 35 season, I would have taken the under.
Yes, absolutely.
Like I clearly would have done that. And he was just really good again tonight. And it bodes well for this time of year for an older player to look this fresh because he does. He looks fresh. That line looks refreshed with McMahon. And now, that kind of brings me to the other piece of it, which is I'm not worried about the top line. I think that they're going to be fine. And, they were generating chances. Oh, last little mini point on the second line is that the first 2 goals go off skates, but I also just love it because it's traffic in front of the net. And I know one of them is on the power play, but this is something that we've been hammering this team for all year long. Hey, go to the net, just get pucks on the net. And that's what they did with these first 2 goals. So anyways, credit where credit's due. Yeah. I'm not worried about the first line. I think that they're going to be fine. Will we judge them in the postseason? And will I be nervous when they're not scoring 5-on-5? Sure. But there's just so much talent there.
Yeah.
Second line seems to have unlocked something. But I'm very curious to see what they do and how they continue with the bottom six, because it's like a joke night against the Flyers. And I know Domi scores that goal at the very end to make it the complete laugher, the 7-2 one, where Ersson, again, like ghost, finds a way to poke the puck through him. But overall, I just didn't find them to be really noticeable. And I still don't really know what the purpose of the line is.
I was tracking it because I was really interested in Scott Laughton and where he was at. And our great friend and colleague, Ben Ennis, pointed this out as well on X, that Domi scores that goal. That got Scott Laughton back to even.
Nice.
So if that goal doesn't go in, he finishes -1 in a 6-2 game against his former team. Listen, I don't know. This is just what it's going to look like, I think, and you just got to hope it gets hot, right? I don't know. What else are they going to do? They're going to bring Nyes down to the bottom six. They're going to put Domi up top and kind of try to reinvigorate the bottom six by bringing a couple guys down. Bring McMahon down, put somebody up with Tavares. And like, you can try all these different things, but you're just robbing Peter to pay Paul. Is that the saying?
Yeah.
Robbing Peter to play. I can't say
just to pay Paul. You don't
pay Paul. Pay Paul to pay the guy named Paul. Anyways, I don't know. It just feels like you're kind of shuffling deck chairs. I think you're just going to kind of throw this over the boards and hope it kind of works and hope it kind of gets hot. But is Robertson starting game one? I guess it's going to be Holmberg or Camp or Yarncroc is the scratch rotation. To me, it's all kind of the same thing, and you just hope for a couple lucky ones at the bottom six.
It's just a problem because you're right. It's like they keep moving the bottom six guys around, and it's like, why isn't this working? It's because your bottom six guys, they don't really fit together. And Berube tried to make the identity line right with Laughton down on the fourth, and then kicked him over the wing.
You know what their identity was? Getting caved in every night. That was the identity.
And also it was like the identity of getting a player that you're playing in a role that is not befitting of him, because Laughton is better this. And I said this on my show today. I led with it. It takes a lot for me to like really feel for a player. And I feel for Laughton right now. You can just tell this is a millstone around his neck. And I just wanted him so badly to get a cookie tonight, right? Like, it would have been awesome against his former team. One of those pucks to bounce off his ass and just go in the net, like find a way for it to just go in. Even I'm like, he's facing his former team for the first time. He's been a Flyer for life, and Robertson gets blown up on a play, and he's the first guy there. Like, God, you got to scrap one of your buddies as you're feeling horrible about yourself. It feels like all the breaks are going against him. The only thing that I would say about the second line being so good right now is that it's not a problem, obviously, but I still believe that the only way to actually create three lines is to spread out the three players and to have it where it's like Marner with Tavares, Matthews with Nyes and Domi, and to put Nylander down on a line where he gets a look with Laughton and, I don't know, Yarncroc probably, I would say, would be like the top 9 that I wish we would have seen. And I was texting this with you and Bourne last night. Like, I threw those lines out to you guys, and
I saw that. There was a lot of messages. I didn't read any of them.
It was mostly Bourne and I talking about the line.
Got away from you. I was like, that's too much. I'm gone.
Well, he and I love doing the line talk, and then he tweeted about it today with his variation, which is like bump Nyes down and have McMahon there and try to go with like a bigger third line.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like the biggest shame would be if Marner walks in the summertime, that we'll never have gotten a lengthy look at what this team is like with the three studs spread out over three lines.
No, it's because it's written on the coach's handbook for the Toronto Maple Leafs, regardless of who coaches them, that you have to play either Marner, Matthews, Marner and Tavares, or Nylander. They have to always be together, those four.
Yeah.
No matter what. You can switch them. That's the big move.
Yeah.
You can flip them. When they're not going, you can flip the wingers and away you go. That's allowed. A game.
For one game.
Maybe not even the whole game. Yeah. Maybe for like the first 45 minutes of a game, you could do it. But then you got to flip it back. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I love dreaming about this stuff. And I love, thinking of a world where they're actually going to happen. But what is it? April 19th, game one. You know what's coming, bud.
Yeah.
It's just there's no point in even really talking about it. There's 12 games left in the season. They're not changing it now.
No, there's 11 now. This was the 12th remaining.
Oh, there you go.
Like, I get it. And I kind of feel like we're spinning in circles with it, but it's like, it is one of those things where, again, the second line, awesome. Like a ton to it right now. You feel great about it. And it's just like, what are you going to do with a third line that can't make an impact in a game where it's just a complete beatdown? Like, I guess they played good defensively to a degree. Like the Flyers ended up with how many shots tonight? Nothing. When the game was over, they started to generate like a little bit. And I thought Toronto got a bit sloppy, which is natural when you're up 6 goals. Yeah. So I didn't really care too much about that, or 5 goals, whatever it was when it was 5.
But you look at some of the Lightning's third line, and it's like you're going to send out Robertson and Domi against, like they got that guy they got from Seattle on their third line, Bjorkstrand with they got Nick Paul down the middle. The Panthers have that Luosterainen that they're just like shutdowny type guys who are playoff type players. It's just, I don't know. I can't picture it working, but they're going to try. Yeah. They're going to try their damnedest to make it work. They're going to make fetch happen, buddy.
I got to tell you. So again, when it comes to like the positives in terms of trying to project this team, it was another night where they just didn't give the Flyers really anything, right? Nothing. Like Philadelphia was, I can't even, their best scoring chance was the goal they scored on, which is the turnover. Tavares tries to make like a backhanded play. Yeah. The second goal they score is just a beauty. There's just nothing that anybody could do about it. It's just like good stuff from the Flyers. Good tip by Couturier, but the first one is a bad turnover. You probably don't want to have that, especially to fall down in the hockey game. But overall, just like completely eliminated scoring chances from the Flyers. But secondarily, not even secondarily, but just the thing that I'm really honing in on in terms of real confidence right now is the power play.
Yes. It's nice because I think it was February last year, was it, that it had like the best month in NHL history? Mm-hmm. Was it February or January? Was it earlier in the season?
I think it was February last year where they lit it up.
And it went to ice, absolute ice. And there was a time earlier this season where it was a horrific watch for a long stretch of the season where it was really, really bad. And we said during those times, like, hey, maybe this is the flip this year. Maybe it gets hot at the right time. And it feels a little early for it to be getting super smoking hot. You wouldn't mind this to be like a week or two later, but they really do seem to have a ton of confidence on it right now. Yep. And it's rolling. Like they are stepping up to the tee and they're striping it down the middle. There's no overthinking it. There's no yips. There's no like overpassing. They gain the zone. Their big boys get it. They snap it around and it gets towards the net. And it's really, really encouraging to see this. If they get their penalty kill figured out, that'd be great. If they could go up against the Flyers power play every night, that would be spectacular.
That'd be really good.
They naturally, when Mike Johnson's like, they haven't scored one in 31 tries. I'm like, oh,
it's going back in that. Yeah.
And then I watch it. I'm like, oh, they're not going to get one all year. Like they're never going to score again on the power play.
No, he's like, they have problems setting up. And I'm like, you don't say, as they can't gain the zone for like the 3rd try in a row. It
horrible. But I like the last year, it was the most talked about thing in the playoffs with the power play. What was it? 1 for 24 or 1 for 20, whatever the hell it was. It was awful. This year, if you can get a power play going, the only year they've ever won a round, their power play was excellent in the first round. I think it was a 25 or 26% against the Lightning that year. It's a difference maker in the playoffs. You don't get a ton of chances. You need to score big goals and big spots on it. So really encouraging, and they're snapping it around.
Well, and if you're going to be top heavy the way that they are, right, where it's 2 lines, then the 2 lines have to score, and those guys got to get their spots. And I will say too, like you got to give a lot of credit to Savvy for sticking with the 5 forwards, because there was a moment there where you thought, oh, okay, well, we got to put a defenseman back there, and you don't want to be giving up opportunities. And it's just like those guys have gelled. And it really feels so dangerous. Nyes feels immovable in front of the net. Marner is making brilliant reads over and over and over again. And just like the way that he starts to encroach and walk down, the way that it's felt like, you and I have always talked about how so many times the power play felt too predictable. And it was like they were trying to funnel too much to Matthews. And now it's like both Nylander and Matthews both feel incredibly dangerous. They will just fire pucks on net, and they will just let the two big horses in front do damage and try to dig at pucks and get deflections and screen goaltenders. And yeah, I'll tell you, like, I just feel an immense amount of confidence right now when they step out onto the ice. It feels like they're going to score every time.
I agree. It's weird though that they don't get any real one-timers to Matthews anymore, eh?
Yeah, I don't know. He was never like a huge
but like
guy
anyway. But I mean, he's but like it feels like he never gets a wide open wrister in that sweet spot anymore. And I don't know if
it has to do a lot more with the fact that it's like they don't try to just make him the focus.
Yeah, for sure. But they're getting pucks to the net. But you think about when it used to go really well and they get that cross seam pass from Willie to Matthews or Marner to Matthews, and it'd be in the back of the net with a wrister. But it's nice to see it go well. And if they get their penalty kill figured out, which has been a bit of an issue for them for a while here now, they can flip that around and get both of those things going towards the first round. That'd be a huge help. Huge help.
Yeah. I think that you touched on it though when you mentioned that they look confident.
Yeah.
Because if you've been watching this team for a long time, when the power play struggling, you're looking at them and you go, oh, they're not going to get out of this for a while. Like it's going to take a little bit for them to find it. And so for them to be, you're right. It's like a little early, but they're in a groove that I don't think is going to be shaken here. God, like
holy. I'll touch the fake wood on this IKEA desk that I got here.
Yeah. I think this is real. This is real wood.
You're a fan of, you're a man of fancy things. That's definitely a real wood desk.
I got some real wood. Okay. That don't clip that. I really don't have much from this game, man. David Kampf scored a beautiful breakaway goal.
I think that is by far the nicest goal of his career.
Yeah.
That is
the Chicago.
Well, I mean, the Chicago one was meaningful because in the alternate universe where they don't score that goal, they like lose every game and they don't make the playoffs that year, which is a long way back. But it was a backhand one. But this is
if you could have frozen time, like as he's making the move in though, and live bet it, like what was goal? Like plus 300?
Yeah. I think I would have really thought he was going to shoot one low glove, like just shoot as hard as he can. But it just shows you like even the butchers in the NHL are nasty. Yeah. And when you get a one-on-one with a guy like Aarson, where he's like, I can do whatever I want on this guy, David Aarson, as we're calling him tonight, he just made a great move and he scored. And good for him because he's in the scratch rotation, which I don't necessarily agree with that decision.
Yeah,
like I think Kampf is overpaid. Clearly, makes a little bit too much, but I do think he's a valuable guy on their penalty kill, and just as a fourth line center. I think he's totally fine, but Berube, I don't think necessarily loves him, scratched him a few times, but he gets a goal. So good for him. And it's a really nice move.
Well, I was thinking the same thing where I'm like, this guy's been out of the lineup. He's obviously pissed off about it. He's a proud guy. He's a vet. He plays like, that's one of the things he's prided himself on his career is like he plays games.
Yeah.
And now he's sitting in the press box. So for him to get a nice one, like you could see it on his face, like he's happy, guys are talking on the bench about the move and he cracks the smile. It was a good moment for him, but Aarson.
David Aarson. There's few things that guys that are really good at hockey love than a guy who's not as good as them scoring.
Yeah.
That is, I can just guarantee, like they might even give him the belt tonight. It's just, it's a feeling when you're on the bench and a guy in the fourth line tucks one in, you're so happy. Like you're so excited about it. They know he's been in and out. So I wonder who gets the belt. I bet you there's a chance Kampf gets the belt for that goal.
Yeah. I'd say like, if you were doing the percentages, it's probably like, God, it feels like a Tavares got to get it. Yeah,
maybe Tavares. What do you have, 4 points tonight?
But so did Nylander. So maybe the fact that they both had 4 points, they just cancel each other out and they hand it to Kampf because he came back in the lineup and he buried one.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah. Zero ability to judge anything Stolarz did tonight.
Yeah, I didn't love the first one, but Riley kind of screened him. It just was from far out. Good shot, kind of screened him.
See, again, this is one where I just don't blame the goaltender because it's like, Tavares, why are you making that play? And then with the forwards, both have just decided they're like, it's icing. We're going to fly the zone. You're like, no, it's not. Come back.
Willie wasn't even in the shot yet.
No.
Like when he hammers that, it comes around and they showed the back view of it. And he was like at the blue line when Buddy was getting ready to hammer it. So like it was a bit of a cheat for sure. Far out. Second one, no goalie on earth stopping. So I don't think you judge. Hey, gets a win against one of his former teams. good for him. And you move on. So it does not, I'm not going to make any sweeping narrative thoughts on Anthony Stolar's night.
The only thing from it is like, it's still a win, right? But it's like, you didn't get anything. And so I recommend people, by the way, go listen to my podcast from today. I had Kevin Woodley on and I broke down the goaltending and he had some great stats, but it's like the eye test has bore out in terms of the bad goals for Stolarz. And both guys have been amazing all season long. Like he said, combined, they're doing better than like a lot of starters in the NHL, good starters in the NHL in terms of letting in the low danger chances. Like they've been really, really solid at not allowing those ones. But I just am curious for a coach that seemingly is like wanting to get the hot hand going. It's like, all right, Stolarz is now put two together. Like how this deployment kind of works or how his mind is thinking about a game like that, which is basically a nothing game from the goalie, but does end up in a win.
Yeah, totally. There was a moment in this game. I don't know. We don't play any audio ever on this, but when Nick Robertson ran into whoever that guy was, and he screamed, the ref screamed, "That's just two guys. Hey, that's just two guys running into each other."
Yeah, it's so good.
Refs have actually some of the good ones have a sneaky ton of personality. And like, you have to have a lot of personality to be able to do that because listen, like at the end of the day, it's decision making, but you got to talk to players. You got to talk to coaches. Like there's all this stuff to it. Them mic'd up is great. I love any like ref mic'd up moment where they're like talking to players and the conversation and the relationship between players. It's an incredibly, incredibly hard job. Well, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It's a horrible job to try to do it. But I love when you get to hear a ref showing a little bit of personality, except Wes McCauley when he like tries to make the show about himself. 2 minutes for fighting. I'm like, shut up, dude. Like that's the most cringe stuff you could ever do. But like, I do love the in the moment ref stuff with the players. I think they're hilarious.
Yeah. Little ref talk here. But the one thing I always give refs the most credit for too, is that in hockey, you can still just swear at them and cuss them down. They take it. And in any other, and in basketball, it's like if you spike the ball too hard, you don't pass it back to the official. It's like technical. NFL, you can't talk to officials that way. Like there's no just like you know what I'm trying to get at here.
Yeah, you would have almost swore 17 different times there. Good job, buddy.
I'm trying to be good. I've already had my warnings. I think that it's a cool thing about hockey that the refs and the players converse with each other in a really passionate game with passionate talk.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And that's just those two guys run into it. Hey, that's just two guys run into it. And like there's like a big scrum. It's just it's very uniquely hocky. And I loved it. My last, I guess, is a rapid fire. And this is like a more of a hockey general take. But you shouldn't get second and first assists on an own goal. Drives me crazy. Why, like Willie Nylander banks that one in off whoever that guy was standing in front. And like, why does two people get an assist on that? It's an own goal. It shouldn't even count really. Like, I wish soccer did the thing where it was own goals. You don't get credit for it. Like, you put it into a dangerous position. I understand that. And you get the goal. And I don't think the Players Association is going to sign off on that one anytime soon, but you shouldn't get secondary assists on a goal that bounces off a guy's skate. Drives me nuts. I don't know if that's a stupid take, but it just drives me crazy.
No, I listen, I won't say that. It's one of those things where it really doesn't bother me too much in terms of either way. I'm not a fan of the like soccer idea where it doesn't count as a goal for you because I just think goals are hard to score. And if you're the last guy to touch it and goes in the net, who cares? But yeah, I don't think that's the worst. And by the way, David Camp, according to Jessica Haidt, I think I got that right.
Hate?
Ooh,
hate me hate?
Yeah.
Hate me hate?
Yeah. She says Camp did get the belt and the
there you go.
Checked and it's correct. So
do I know hockey guys or do I know hockey guys?
Great call by you. Great call by you.
Knew it.
Okay. So we're off on Thursday. It's home opener for the Blue Jays. And it's a 10:30 start with San Jose Sharks. So we won't have that one. But
sorry, guys. Sorry, friends.
But then the rest of the way we got it, and then we're like into playoff time. So final 10 stretch. We'll have some guest hosts in there when you're in Hawaii. Subscribe to the podcast, leave a thumbs up, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JD Bunkis, at Sam A. McKee, and we will see you again on Saturday night.